Hello and welcome to the Sanki Sliding Center, the home for the Sochi Winter Olympic Games 2014. It's the 80th and final slide of the regular World Cup season as men's skeleton brings the action here to a conclusion with the second and deciding heat. Martin Haven and alongside me, John Morgan, getting ready for another fascinating race at this Olympic track.
Well, the first heat highlights, it looked a little bit like the Olympics last year. Thomas Dukurs, who did not get on the podium last year at the Olympic Games, he was the first man down the track today, and he's second in World Cup points. And guess what? He was third at the end of Heat 1 here today, but he's got a close battle. He's got Sungbin Yun right on his tail. Good chance for another medal for Thomas Dukurs. And here's Superman, his brother, Martins. Well, he's only got 6 golds and 1 silver so far this year, and it was that guy Tretyakov that knocked him off the gold medal spot. And it's Tretyakov again that Martins Dukurs is chasing like he did last year at the Winter Olympic Games. He couldn't catch the Russian rocket, but Superman is not out of it yet. He's only 10 hundredths down, and the Russian rocket really beat Superman at the start. 7 hundredths. Well, that's the key. If he can get 7 hundredths ahead again at the start, it's going to be tough for Tretyakov to lose the race on his home track.
The Russian Olympic champion in fine form, looking to do what Lizzie Arnold did yesterday in the women's skeleton competition, turn Olympic victory into World Cup victory in 12 months. He leads by a 10th. And the battle behind is all about the bronze medal. Thomas Dukurs, 700s ahead of Sungbin Yun, Sergei Chudanov and Dave Greszczyszyn, maybe even Matthias Guggenberger, not out of the mix for the medals yet, but they will need something very special. For the gold, though, it comes down to the 2 men that dominate the proceedings here, Alexander Tretyakov and Martins Dukurs. 20 sleds go into the second and deciding heat. Ander Marambel, Carl Brown and Han-Sin Lee join the crowds trackside to watch the action. And we'll be started off by the guy who was in 20th place, one of 3 World Cup rookies making his first ever World Cup race here. They're making the final preparations to the sled. Ice conditions, it's -5 degrees. It's warmed up a little since this morning. It was a pretty frosty night overnight, clear skies and sun overhead. As we get ready for this final heat of the season.
Parc Fermé, where the athletes have a chance to change the rock on their sleds. Now you see them going down in there, you're going to change the rock, the bow. Not all of the runner touches the ice, only a little bit. The rock, if you know anything about hydroplane racing, or it's the part of that comes in contact with the water, it's the same thing here in skeleton, the rock.
Alexander Auer first off in our 20 down to 1 run. Both heats count, and it's the smallest amount of elapsed time over the 2 1,500-meter trips down this track that will decide our winner. Alex Tretyakov goes last to defend his lead. Big crowd at the start, big crowd at the finish here, trackside in the Sanki Sliding Center, the Olympic winter venue for the Sochi 2014 Games. First on the ice is a World Cup rookie. It's Auer power for Alexander Auer, son of Christian Auer, one of Austria's legendary skeleton sliders. 20th place in the first heat.
Mario Guggenberger, the coach, sending him off. Martin Rettel not here this week, probably catching up on some work time.
He's with the Junior Worlds with
that's right,
Raphael Meyer, who took the bronze medal there, and also their youngest slider, Karina Meyer. She took a bronze medal in the women's competition. But Auer on his own here.
Of course, the Austrians won the World Cup title in women's skeleton. Janine Flock in a very exciting competition yesterday for us. Anybody else that watched it?
And for her, I think, as well.
Yeah, it was
edge of the seat stuff. She didn't make it easy on herself. 49.6 and 88 kilometers an hour speed, a fraction up on his first heat.
His father, I think, was 2-time world champion. The Austrians, I think, had 4 or 5 world championships in the 90s. At least, if you go
getting away from him a little down here at the bottom. And the further down the track you get, the more speed you pick up, the harder it is to be so precise when this is only your 8th trip in your life down the track.
58.83, so he's 4,200 slower. Trying to gauge how fast the track is. And he started like 21st, so he just went down 45 minutes ago.
Yep. So Alexander Auer, first World Cup race completed, top 20 finish guaranteed.
Well, when you go out of sight like you just did there, that's a rough transition. And the exit, and this is down below, 10, 11, 12. And look at that crossover. It comes over here and hits this wall pretty hard. That's a straightaway that, yeah, you got to touch that wall, but not with that hard hit.
There's a difference between touching it and punching it. And he really punched it in the second one. Alexander Auer, the race leader, though, made the cut on his first attempt. 500ths of a second loss there would have seen Anders Marambal make the cut for the first time this season, but it wasn't to be. Next up is Ronald Arderset, 25-year-old Swiss student of mechanical engineering. He was only 400ths faster than Alexander Auer in the first heat, so this is a real battle of nerves now.
Well, another rookie, person that's looking at the track for his 8th trip ever, and this is not Eagles, where we were last weekend, which really easy track, and the site of next year's World Championships. And this is the only Swiss slider in the field, and you're talking about Switzerland. You know, a power in the sport, especially in the 2000 to 2010. When you had Maya Pedersen winning world championships and Olympic medals, and you had Gregor Stally winning world championships and Olympic medals. And boy, this is a good run.
Yeah, nice looking run. He was 400ths up. He's now 4800ths up. Alexander Auer's run really came unstitched at the bottom. Ronald Arderset holding it together.
This is way better his first run, 57.78. Whoa, 22 5900ths better. And Mickey Grugenberger, another Austrian who won a world championship in the 90s, his coach, likes it.
That would have left him 14th in the first heat rather than the 19th where he finished, so that was a lot of improvement for Ronald Arderset.
Look at the Russian people. Yeah. They're loving this. So impressed with what the Russians have done here this week. Little tap here, a slight tap. That's not bad. I think that'll be one of the best. As soon as I said that, though.
A little bit of wall sticking out and drags the speed out of the sled.
Look how low his head is here. Then he pops up just to check things out, and he knows that wall on his left hand, our right, is looming, and he just taps that. So that's a pretty good run. He was flying.
Yeah, he'll be happy with that. End of his first World Cup season. Best result of 18th place, and with that run, he might just surpass that. Evan Neufeld of Canada, one of a dozen rookies in the field this weekend. Neufeld, again, at the end of his first ever World Cup career season. 27-year-old from Saskatchewan.
8th best start in the first run. Impressive. He had some issues down the bottom part of the track, though, that he should have been in the top 12 or 13.
Best result of his year, 8th place in Samoritz.
Yeah, so that start, he's got a lot of time in the bank right here. Watch it. He should have 3/10, 4/10 here. 20. Should have been more than that.
He's losing time back. Bigger hit there than we saw from Ronald Arderset.
Speed falling away. 2/10 in the bank. That's a blink of an eye in this track. Down to 15. Now these uphill sections, this is where he had problems. Down, I think, at 16 entrance. Oh, way too high there. 13, but he's hanging in there.
78, 79, 80 miles an hour now, and the corner's coming at him thick and fast.
Still got a chance. It's going to be close. 300s. I don't know. I don't think he's going to do it.
I'm not sure he's got the speed. 1:26.1. Arderset was quicker. He's going to be behind. Out of the final corner by 100th of a second.
But, you know, he held in there all the way down.
Yeah.
After that mistake up top, that hard hit that took away the 2000ths lead down to 13. But then he bled a little bit all the way down to lose by 100. It was still a great result for him.
What a season he's having.
Yeah, he's
8th place in the World Cup race in Samoritz. That's a real highlight.
This is where it really fell away from him here. This is just late. And he saw the energy where it pops up. Then he's late here in this curve. So he goes for 2 or 3 curves before he finally gets out of that late scenario. Comes over here and taps. Losing by 100, that hurts.
There you go. Ronald Arderset is our race leader with the first 3 sleds down.
Am I in 2 or 1? 2?
Canada's Barrett Martineau at the start line. 17th in the first heat at the end of his first World Cup campaign for his nation. Martineau, 23-year-old, former ski jumper, now ski jump coach from Calgary, Alberta. Best result of his season, 16th place in Lake Placid, the season opener.
Like his teammate, wears that wonderful grizzly bear helmet. Catches my attention every time we see him come down the track, head first. Listen for some scratching. That's the toes or the chin dragging on the ice.
Long slide is going to cost him a bit of speed. 0.4 of a second lead over Ronald Alderset, our current leader, as he laid down. It's down to 0.3.
It's a lot of time to give away here in the bottom. Any kind of clean line, he'll be the leader. Oh, he's picked it back up.
Here we go.
Uphill section, 5th jump into 16. Now we approach the almost 80-mile-an-hour speed.
Extending his advantage.
He's flying.
He's going to push Ronald Alderset out of the leader's box. That's a really nice run, 57.63.
Way better than his first run, 0.4 better.
That would have left him in the top 10 in the first heat, that run.
So some of these rookies are finding their way down the Sanki Sliding Center.
Well, best result of his season, 16th place. He needs to pick up 1 spot to match that. 2 for Sochi to be his best race of the year.
Toe, left toe, on our left side of our screen. Ooh, he touches the wall there a little bit, but boy, he accelerated on the bottom. He was losing time all the way down. This is why. That's textbook. That's as good as we're going to see now. A little toe on the right side came down a little bit, but good speed on the bottom.
Yeah, really hooked it up there. Well, next up, Ed Smith of Great Britain, only 21st fastest start, and that tells the season of his, well, the story of his season, plagued by leg injuries with nothing even remotely approaching the speed that he had last year.
Darth Vader look in the helmet. And
British girls at the top. There's McGrandle, Laura Dees, and Olympic champion Lizzie Yarnold cheering him on.
Eric Bernardus encouraging him. And the little drag, but you know, he's wounded. You know, he's out here without, he doesn't have a full deck that he's playing with here because of the injuries, leg injuries. And you know, and he'll start the rehab process. And the question is, how long will it take him to rehab so he can start to train again? Usually you try in April, March, April to just relax from the season, but then you get back into a training regime and, you know, maybe he can't start training in the middle of the summer.
He's got to grind out to World Championships as well before then. 400s behind at the start, dropped to 1200s back. Now he's in the lead, though. This is where his knowledge and his experience of sliding are going to come into play.
Way more experience than the guys he's challenging, but he's, you know, he doesn't have a loaded gun here to work with.
Still relatively inexperienced on this track. He's just in the lead over Barrett Martineau as he gets to the line. 57.62, that's 0.3 better. And I wonder whether the temperature is starting to drop now and the track is just helping, or whether he just tidied more stuff up.
It was cleaner run. That's a cleaner run.
Yeah. Down the bottom in the first heat, I think it all got a little bit out of control.
He wouldn't be the first to start. You know, he'd run 3 or 4 steps more. This is a very good athlete who relies on better than average start times. Now he's got worse than average start times, but look at the profile. You know, he's an experienced slider, climbs high in 17, 16. Well, he has to come back up here in the outlet.
On his day, he'd be starting at least a quarter second quicker than he is at the moment, and maybe as much as 0.3. It's Ed Smith who leads 5 of 20 sleds down in the final World Cup race of the season. 2 German rookies in the field this weekend as their World Cup regulars are at the Junior World Championships. First is Michael Zakrau, 20-year-old from Oberhof, a former ski jumper. He started ski jumping with Christopher Grotehair, who's just won the Junior Worlds yesterday, and he takes his place in the team today.
No. First time we've ever seen him on the World Cup. Germans have birthed a whole new generation of skeleton athletes. They weren't happy with the team that didn't win a medal at last year's Olympics. Neither did the bobsled team, and the bobsled team not winning a medal here in this track. First time the Germans had not medaled at an Olympics since 1956 in Cortina.
Well, the young generation was always coming up, but this year, the first post-Olympic year, has really given them a chance to shine in the spotlight. And bobsleigh and skeleton, they've all done themselves proud. Some really fascinating new young talents in the German program.
This is some pretty good form here.
Losing a little bit of his time back to Ed Smith, but he takes it at the line by 1500s.
It's a good run.
Again, his run, 3/10 and more quicker than his first. And this is a factor of just, it's another trip down. This is now 8 times he's been down this track in his life.
This is not any normal track.
So he had 15% more experience starting the race than before, and another 15% more after the second trip.
A little uncomfortable out of curve 5, and look at the feet kick back and forth. Now he's, he's just motioning on his sled to try and get control, but hey, rookie, did well. There's
Big
Marion
smile
Tees
being
helping
coached
him
by
out.
Marion Tees.
She said, go to the litters box. That's a good place to hang out.
That's what you need to do.
There's what your experience is.
You don't do that in the Intercontinental Cup or the European Cup. It doesn't happen. Next up is his new teammate, or new to us anyway, Dominik Radi, another 20-year-old. He's not from Oberhof, he's from Bischofswiesen for the Berchtesgaden track, Königssee, that's his home.
Bavarian.
Last year's European Cup champion. And he's a former judo player.
There's a couple of judo people in the field of bob and skeleton. Second best start to his teammate.
Well, they both knocked 500s off their start in the second heat, and I think they'll both be much more relaxed as well. They were relaxed during training, but, John, training's not race day. There
was a lot of people with big eyes getting out of sleds. The other part of this track on Tuesday, there were some saucer eyes.
Big eyes and big smiles.
But it's a fun track. Everybody loves the track.
Good speed here.
Everybody loves the atmosphere returning to the Olympics, all the volunteers that paid their own way to come back here just to celebrate the one-year anniversary of the Sochi Games.
Top speed so far for Dominik Radi. Teammate Christopher Groothair will go to the World Championships as a wild card, which opens up another spot for the Germans. And we'll see for the first time on TV Jacqueline Lurling, who's been a standout in Europa Cup and ICC because she's the junior world champion. He takes the lead away from his teammate by 2200s, 57.39.
He's 3900s better.
That would have left him in 8th place in the first heat. So they really are improving very quickly.
Well, 56.27 was the best time of the run by Tretyakov. 55.95, that's 3200ths off the record. Everybody's coming down 25-30 better. We could have a chance for a track record.
The rookies are. Whether the real experts are going to be that much of a step forward is
of course, they're working with better ice, too, so maybe not. I'm just hoping love seeing those track records. There's
Anja Selvak. She had her last ever World Cup race yesterday.
On the podium, 3rd place.
Kyle Tress now for the USA. Tress, 33-year-old from Lambertville, New Jersey. He raced here in the games last year into 21st place. Best race of his season. A huge 5th place result in Lake Placid.
Good way to start the Olympic cycle, but he hasn't matched that since. Had pretty good speed on the bottom part of the track. Made a lot of errors in the first run.
See if the start's any quicker him. 4.76, same as his first getaway.
Consistency.
Well, he was 800s in front of Dominik Radi, 300 slow at the start, so the gap now is down to 0.05.
He's got a big race coming up, I think, on Wednesday or Thursday in Innsbruck. He races off against Kyle Brown.
Radi had better speed, but that was really good, nice line there. Avoided the wall completely.
The USA only has 2 spots in the Winterberg World Championships, and Matt Antoine's got one of them.
Went behind, coming back. 129, top speed from Kyle Tress.
This is what he did in the first heat.
Struggled to the lead.
There he is. He's back in the lead now. So good bottom half of the track. Let's see how he does on 16. How high does he get in this curve right here?
Whoa, nice height. Oh, but pushed out on the exit again.
It's going to be close now. Right to the 100th. He's got problems.
300ths of a second. He takes the lead away from Dominic Radi.
Boy, did he shoot up on 16.
Yes, he
did. He drove off because he was on the lip. Then he added the outlet of it, 17 to deal with. And he was a little pinball wizard on the bottom there, but he still came out on top.
57.44 for him. He was in a dead heat for 12th place with Dom Parsons of Great Britain.
On the wrong side of the straightaway. So he's trying to get over to the left side. Now, because of that, he's got to steer in there. He's way up on the roof, goes down, then has to come back up in the outlet. So that mistake he made was about 150 yards up, and he's still 200 yards down. Look at this. Watch this hit.
Lunges off.
Those are not the fast lines.
No.
Right there.
That was,
Kyle?
Yeah.
I know. It was a tough run.
That was nearly crashing there. Well, Dom Parsons of Great Britain, 12th place, tie with Kyle Tress, third out of the start shed, and he should have been up in the top 5 or 6 here.
Yeah, he probably had the worst run of the top 12 sleds.
Probably had the worst run of his season. 10th place in the Winter Games here. He's only tied for 12th in a World Cup race that's missing 4 or 5 of the top 10.
He's been down the track a lot. He's probably got 40 trips down the track, 45 trips, 50
469,
trips.
300s quicker. He knows the pressure is on. He wants to move up if he can and can't leave anything behind here.
He should. This is a top 5, top 6 slider you would have thought of before the race started. He's got a similar frame to Thomas Dukurs. They're both tall, lanky, 6'2", 6'3" guys, 400-meter sprinter.
2 4th place finishes, the best of his season. He's only been out of the top 10 twice.
Well, he hopes he doesn't get out of the top 10 here, but this is a lot cleaner run than he had in his first heat. He hadn't touched the wall, and I hope I don't jinx him.
A little better speed, lots of scratching, toes on the ice, chin piece of the helmet on the ice.
This is good.
129.1 at the bottom, not quite as quick as the American, but half a second clear. And now that might undo some of the damage.
600ths better.
Yep.
Now that, you think he had a bad first run? He might have had the worst run of his career in the first heat. At least this year.
Yeah. Well, that was a much better effort from Dom Parsons, mind you. It could hardly have been worse than the first trip, which really came unraveled badly.
Look at this middle part. Then he gets on, good speed in the bottom. Gets on 16 right where he wanted to. Look at that. There is a great line through that curve 16.
Good transition. Good start as well, 469. That's where he should be. Now, can Anton Batuev hold off the current leader? Batuev of Russia, only 300s quicker than Dom Parsons in the first heat, which even by Batuev's standards was not where he expected to be. This is only the 3rd World Cup race of his season.
Yeah, he Lake Placid in Calgary. He didn't do well in Calgary. He did well in Lake Placid, 8th and then 16th in Calgary. He's going to get crushed here at the start by Dom Parsons.
Cheered off by his teammates at the top. Batuev only in the team because Nikita Tretyakov was at the Junior Worlds. He tied with Christopher Grote here for the gold medal, so he'll get a free pass to the World Champs, which presumably means we'll see Batuev there as well.
Well, I got to believe Dom Parsons is going to move up 3 or 4 sleds here. Yeah, he's 30 down. I don't see him finding the rocket line here in the bottom to catch Dom Parsons, who was, you know, the video game line down the track. He was perfect.
3,300s back, the gap grows. Speed is the same as Dom Parsons. It's going to be hard to close from that.
Yeah, he's got to get better speed. These are great lines, but it just tells you.
Looking good at the bottom. Gap's coming down, 2,600s, 1,200s of a second, here he comes. Speed at the bottom, 129.5 might just be enough, and it's not. Wow, he did come close though. 57.04 would have been good enough for 5th place in the first heat.
Wow.
They are finding speed in this track. Maybe night races in the World Championships is really where we need to go.
They're going to have the night races. They're going to get the ski crowds up here. They learned a lot. World Championships here, 2 years. And boy, I tell you, the Russian, the people that are here were people who were here at the games last year that fell in love with the sport. And of course, the Russians won 3 gold medals of 5 disciplines, so in
to
bob and
argue with that.
skeleton, so that helped a lot. Doesn't get the great start that Parsons had, but look at his head. His head's down. Now he's got to peak a little bit to come down this not so straight away. And that's perfect. He was fast on the bottom. Right there is a good reason why.
Problem is, only 22nd fastest start in Heat 1. He's not fast at the top. Anton Batiev, second place. Don Parsons of Great Britain leads. 10 sleds still to come in the final World Cup race of the men's skeleton season in Sochi. Well, everybody trying to line themselves up, keep themselves fit, fast and healthy, ready for the World Championships. A week's hiatus before all the training starts. A week on Monday in Winterberg in Germany. Junior Worlds this weekend in Altenburg have concluded. Joint gold medalists in the men's skeleton. Christopher Grohe and Nikita Tregobov. That's insane. They both get a wild card to the senior
First
worlds.
time that's ever happened.
Absolutely.
That wild card thing started happening about 8 years ago, where the junior world champion got the pass into the world championships, and that's when they were limiting the how many, like, you know, Jamaica, everybody would qualify. There's
Lizzie Arnold, Laura Dees at the bottom of the track. There's your World Cup champion on the left, Janine Flock and Annie O'Shea. And of course, the last World Championships in St. Moritz 2 years ago, the junior world champion, Francesco Friedrich, he got the free card, went out, bang!
Won the world championship. That was the first time
everybody
ever.
away.
Yeah, the youngest man ever to win a world championship.
22
And he's not here this week. He's up there hanging out in Winterberg, taking trip after trip after trip, along with Anja Schneiderheinz. It's going to be pretty interesting up there. The Germans are a little hungry after their disappointment from last year at the Olympics,
and
where they
a home track as well.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
they've got to perform there. They really all desperately want to perform well there.
But they did pretty good here. They had Anja Huber get a medal for him in women's skeleton, and then Max Arndt got a medal in bobsled, but he's sort of lucky with Rico Peter crashing. But that was a pretty exciting race.
Sometimes you got to be lucky. As they always say, I'd rather be lucky than good.
Harder you practice,
Yeah.
the luckier you get.
The Sanki Sliding Center above Rosa Couture, the Olympic venue. Don Parsons of Great Britain is our World Cup leader, the Bromley Sports-sponsored slider. 10 sleds still to come, first of whom was in the bronze medal position a year ago in the Olympic Games. USA's Matt Antoine, the 29-year-old, walked away from his sled at the bottom of the run here after, for his standards, a shocker.
471 in the first run, should be better. 469, just like Don Parsons, couple hundreds better. And Matt Antoine, like Don Parsons, had a pretty, I can't say it, run.
Average, I think, would be the best
Not
way
even
to
average,
describe
no,
it.
poor run for them. They're, you know, this is the Olympic bronze medalist. Shouldn't be back in 10th place with a field that's a little watered down. Not everybody is here.
Decent speed, 89.1. We've seen quicker. Only 400s up. He's not going to hold on here unless he really finds something special.
Oh, this doesn't look good here on the outlet.
129.0. Still only 400s
Stop the
in
bleeding.
front.
That's a good line there. In the uphill section. Oh, Parsons was perfect there. Antoine, he was also perfect.
500 of a second in it. Last corner could win it or lose it. How's the exit? It's good. He's going to be in front of the line.
Wow.
57.00. And that would have put him in 5th position in Heat 1.
5,800s better.
Yeah.
So the track, it is getting colder.
Definitely holding up. Don Parsons.
You're saying a little better, eh?
Don Parsons, the best slide so far, 56.94.
This is up top. The uphill section, the first of 3. Curve 5 to 6. Little alter, but oh, he caught that little joint there and brushed him away. Here he looked really late, but we saw Martin Dukurs late there too, and he got away with it.
Bit of pretty fly for a white guy for Matt Antoine, our race leader with 9 to go. And what a story this is. If you're watching in Calgary, if you're watching in Italy, Joe Cecchini, Calgary cop, racing for Italy, Italian parentage. And 9th place off the 6th fastest start. And John, we were talking between the runs. There won't be a dry eye in the house if he pulls off a huge result like this.
Personal best, never finished in the top 10.
Could be a really great run for him. He's had 3 World Cup starts this season, 469.
I didn't realize he's this good a starter.
Well, not only this good a starter, but stitched together a wonderful run after 6 trips ever down this track. And look at the form he's showing here.
Let's listen.
Good exit there. Little skid, but he's nicely onto 6.
Great.
Come on, Joe, hold it together. Only 200s up over Matt Antoine at the start, 200s behind now. A top 10 finish would still exceed anything he's done this season.
Losing back, he could drop 2 places. Still, this is a personal best. He finishes even the 11th position.
So close. Oh, now he's slipping away, 2/10 behind.
And he did that he came late in the heat. Still 6th best time in the run.
Not the genius run he had in the first place. He's in 4th with 8 to go, so that could be 12th place for him, no worse. His best season result was 15th place on his home ice in Calgary, the track he knows better than any other.
Yes,
good stuff from Joe Cecchini. That is a breakout performance for the Italian-Canadian.
He only made 1 cut before that, 2 cuts before this, so on the wrong side of the curve there. He's got to be more in the uphill section. Watch it. Now he's got to go in there, and that's a lot of time when you got to steer that hard in the middle, late part of the curve.
Good stuff from him. 2 really good slides here. Now he'll be disappointed not to hold his position, but he's got to look at the bigger picture. That's a good day for Italy. Next up, Axel Jung of Germany, former world champion in skeleton, junior world champion in 2012. Still just 23 years old. Not sure whether he's quite within the bubble, whether he could have gone to the Junior Worlds as well. But
well, he also smelt the prize money over here, too.
Well, and also the opportunity.
$8,000 for the first prize.
Opportunity to race here. Can't be sniffed at, can it?
Every athlete in the field after 6, 7 through the 22, all get $750 apiece. So like a parent's fee. And then the top 6 is 6, 8, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1,000. It's pretty expensive in
466 getaway, 1100s in front of Matt Antoine. Now he's starting to motor on, 1400s up. Better speed than the American as well. One
of the young guns of the German program. They really have retooled their whole program, and they've retooled it with youth.
128.7, well, Frank Rommel, who retired after the games last year at 30, said, I really feel like the old man in the team, and that's exactly what Arnie Huber-Selbach has been saying for the last couple of years. 128.8, this is good speed from him as well. He'll have the lead by a handy margin, maybe 0.3 of a second. No, came way down to 1800s. 56.9, that is the fastest slide of the competition in this second heat so far.
56.90, he had 57.50 in the first run.
That would have left him 300s off 3rd in the first heat.
That's 60 hundredths better.
Yep.
The track is, it's there. The record is there. Someone's going to get it at this pace. Start. Oh, look at that extension. Boy, that looked like he was a little uncomfortable getting on that sled like that.
Almost missed the sled.
This is about missing the wall. Coming off that finish curve hard.
Head up comes to try and avoid it, but takes the hit anyway.
There's some time there.
500s out of him at least.
How about a little air?
Next up for Austria, Matthias Guggenberger, 7th after the first heat. Gap to the top 6, 1 single 10th of a second. And the gap to 3rd place is 0.4 of a second. So he's theoretically in the mix for that bronze medal.
8th in Calgary, 7th in Altenburg, then all double digits after that. So this is what we expect out of him. We talked about it in the first run. You know, he's had a lot of injuries, but 2 or 3 years ago, he was a promising star for Austria. But injuries have slowed him down.
A couple of injured seasons. He's finding it hard to really regain the form that he had as a youngster.
His friend is Janine Flock, who won the World Cup title yesterday for Austria. Who hosts the World Championships next year. Guggenberger.
Two junior world bronze medalists in the Austrian team, Raphael Meyer and Karina Meyer. Not related, 1100s back. And the speed is not there to hold this margin to the line. He's going to drop further back as well. He's going to lose 2 places, maybe 3.
Maybe not.
Oh, tied with Matt Antoine for second spot.
Tied to the
100th of a second. And that means that Axel Jung of Germany moves up a spot. His best result, a pair of 4th places in Lake Placid and in Altenburg.
Not bad, though. Listen, this is top 10 finish. Boy, he's not in that top 6, though. That's where the $1,000 check gets written for 6th. Crossover. Head down. Does the toes. Little adjustment there. Feet come really good together there. Looks like he's up a little bit here. Now watch how he climbs into this curve 16, 17 here.
Race leader is Axel Jung. We have 6 sleds still to go here, first of whom is Canada's Dave Greszczyszyn. Well, Greszczyszyn, another great first run. Best results are him, tracks he knows best in North America. At Lake Placid and Calgary, he was 8th. This is his World Cup debut season as well. He has had 1 or 2 World Cup appearances before, 1 I think. But this is the first full season for the man from Toronto, from London, Ontario rather, on his Sate sled.
The Grizz, with the Grizz helmet, the rugby player, probably the biggest man in the field.
We're going to get some grief when he hears that. He said, hey,
well,
what's the thing about me being big?
He's larger than the rest of the,
tall guy.
Well, he's a little thick too. He's a
10th up, and now he's 100th behind, right in the mix here with Axel Jung.
Well, he's got to have a chance to glide here on the bottom, use his size.
Back in the lead, back out of the lead. 126.3 is
Plus
a little
5.
slower than Axel.
That's a skid there.
Come on, Grizz, hold it together down at the bottom for a top 6 finish.
12, not going to do it. Not going to do it.
It's going to be close. Will he hang on to second place? He does, as he whiskers past the wall. So he's in second place with 5 to go. 7th place will still be his best result of the season.
That's good for him.
Yeah.
Couple of skids.
Starts the season with 2 8s and will finish with no worse than a 7th place here.
Still got a chance to move up.
Yeah, still has a chance. There's a couple of sliders not too far in front after the first heat who still have to hold it together.
This was too hard of a hit here. That was worth a lot. Look at the way that big frame got bounced off the sled there. Hard hit, he came straight. Then here, this is that straightaway where you think you're going to come over here and hit. Look at the skid he's got going. He doesn't hit, but he might have been better off hitting.
Yeah. Axel Jung of Germany leads from Dave Greszczyszyn of Canada and Mario Guggenberger, Marcus Guggenberger, Matthias Guggenberger of Austria even. We have 5 sleds left to go here in Sochi. Sergei Chudinov, 5 sleds to go. Got to hold it together and try and remember everybody's name for another 5 minutes.
You're awesome.
Sergei Chudinov of Russia. 8th fastest start, but drove himself down into 5th position and in the medal mix for the bronze.
5th place at the Olympic Games. He can smell a podium here, but he gives up a little time at the start to the sleds coming up, so he's got to be perfect.
John, he needs help here as well. He's 2,200 out of the medals. It's not going to come just from him. It needs to be given away.
Yeah, but he's just got to post his personal best on this track. Perfect run. Get down there in the leader's box and catch me if you can. For the cash. A lot of cash on the line now.
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. 3,600s up at the start. He's down to 0.2 of a second. He's given away nearly half his lead already. 128.7, same as Axel Jung of Germany.
Down to 14.
Oh, here we go. Jung is going to be starting to get his head up in the leader's box. Starting to get a bit twitchy.
This is good lines. Should be enough down to 10. Should be enough, though.
Down to 0.10 of a second. 128.3. Not enough. Oh, it is. 57.19 slide.
There's the bottom part of the track. There's home track advantage. Willie Schneider knows it. That was a great line by a veteran slider. He was in Calgary Olympics. I think he was 14th. You know, he's won one World Cup victory. He's living in the shadows of Tretyakov, but this is a very experienced slider right here.
2900ths slower than Axel Jung on that run alone. Jung's loose first run as a rookie here really held him back.
See, I don't like the way he's pushing from the right. You know, I just don't like that technique. But, you know, it was good enough to get to the bottom, to get in the box.
Judy has the lead, 4 to go.
Needs a little help.
Yes, he does. Could end up with 2 Russians on the podium, maybe. But Iron Man might have something to say about that. Sungbin Yun from Korea, the 20-year-old rookie.
Look at this guy's thighs.
Raced here, yeah.
Look at the size of this guy.
Talk about holiday hams.
20 years old. This is a talent. This is a rising star that in Korea, they will get very excited about this guy by the time the 2018 games come.
Another Bromley sled slider, 51.1, fastest speed we've seen out of the first corner.
Powerful, powerful athlete, and very meticulous. The coaches say anything you tell him off the track, he brings on the track. He spends a lot of time looking at video, always looking to improve, and he's a youngster.
Speed is better than his first run. Half a second up on Judy.
This is
him shooting for yet another medal. He's had a silver and a bronze already this season.
First ever Korean to win a medal in any of the bobsled, luge, or skeleton sliding sports.
How's his career progression going? He was 16th in the Winter Games a year ago. He's shooting for 3rd here now.
Look at this time. Wow, 56.74. There's 20/100ths better. Wow, I don't know if that, I gotta believe that's good enough for him.
Well,
I don't know, those 3 guys in front of him got a lot of experience.
Yeah.
He's got 3 or 4.
Be a good fight.
He's got 3 years experience. The guys in front of him got about 35 years of experience combined.
Well, that was 2/10 better than his first run. And he was 700ths behind Thomas Dukurs. So Dukurs needs to improve by pretty much the same margin to stay in front.
Good lines for the Iron Man into the finish. We're calling him Iron Man now because that's his favorite movie, his favorite theme, his helmet. Good lines.
Carries it nicely from 16 to 17, not too high, didn't fall off. Sungbin Yun, wow. Now then, top 3 from our final World Cup race of the season to be decided. Thomas Dukurs lying 3rd after the first of the 2 heats. Too far away, he's half a second away from 2nd. This is about bronze and bronze alone, surely. And all he's got to do is beat Sungbin Yun of Korea.
Sungbin Yun just guaranteed himself at least $3,000. This run right here is for a minimum of $4,000.
Dukurs tied for the lead. That's what Yun's start gives him. 466 to 459 negates any advantage Dukurs had.
He'll be behind 10/100ths here at the next clock before he stops the bleeding. There's 11. So now he should stop the bleeding now, knowing the experience he's got. Great line there.
Long slide though. 89.4 slower than the Korean.
Korean was pretty good, bottom part of the track. So Thomas, he's no more bleeding. He needs to have -8 or 9 at the next clock.
Half a kilometer down on Sungbin Yun of Korea. The gap will widen.
14. The
Yun,
last clock.
127 out of corner 16. Dukurs needs more than that. The gap is coming back again to 1300ths. 129 kilometers an hour. That might be enough, but it's not. Yun is in the medals for the 3rd time in 8 starts in his rookie campaign. Coach goes to congratulate him, and Thomas Dukurs looks like he's out of the medals in 4th place, the same as 12 months ago.
Still guarantees himself $3,000 for the day.
Well, this time it's not Matt Antoine, it's Sungbin Yun of Korea who is in front of him with 2 to go.
Yeah. Thomas got beat at the start. He got beat at the start.
And it's not the Olympic Games, it's just a World Cup race.
Okay.
Of course, tell that to the next 2 sliders and they won't believe you, because this is replay or retribution of the Olympic Games for Martin Dukurs of Latvia.
It's almost like a match race right now.
Yeah.
Him and Tretyakov.
The rest of the field is the rest of the field. The other positions, the other positions. It's about those 2. Sungbin Yun The Bromley slider from Korea is the race leader with 2 to go. A 10th behind after the first heat. He needs a stunning performance here.
The leaderboard right now, 8 different countries are in the first 8 positions. That tells you what skeleton is.
4:57, the same as his first heat. And that will leave him almost another 10th behind if Alexander Tretyakov only matches his first heat start. This is not about starting speed now for Martins Dukurs. This has to be about driving better than the Olympic champion.
No skid there. No
top speed.
As expected, but he needs to be the video game line that he usually pulls off and put a lot of pressure on Tretyakov.
He is quicker than his first run, but now he's not. He had 130 kilometers an hour. Mind you, that speed trap is very short, so he's right there.
This might be track record time.
56.37 in the first heat. The track record says 55.95. How close is he going to be? Good speed at the bottom. Avoids the wall. 56.4. That's slower than his first heat by a fraction. Is that enough to win here in Sochi? He won here 2 years ago. He took the silver medal 1 year ago in the Olympic Games. He'll be silver or gold here again today. But which will it be?
He doesn't.
He doesn't look like a man who's just won in his own mind.
Look at the athleticism that he brings onto that sled. And looks like he's on the wrong side. He's going to tap here. Well, maybe not. Let's see the reverse shot.
Wow,
let's see his feet there. No, he looks like he snuck in there perfectly.
Yep.
We'll find out how good that is real quick.
Let's see what the Olympic champion brings to the table. 1 win this season, way down in the World Cup standings because he didn't race in the World Cup before we came to Europe. So missed out on 2 races, 450 points potentially.
Okay.
The only man to have beaten Martins Dukurs in a straight fight this year. He did it in Koenigsegg, Bavaria. Can he do it again in Sochi in Russia?
Russian rocket.
4:47.
When he gets that
ties the Olympic start record.
That is what separates him from Dukurs on this track. He beat Dukurs convincingly in the first 50 meters, and now he's got a huge lead. It's his race to lose.
They didn't design this start specifically for him, did they?
Maybe.
89.9, nothing like the speed that Martins Dukurs had there, and a bigger skid than we saw from the Latvian as well.
Well, he does get slappy in places.
Little quicker than Dukurs. The gap will grow back again. Here we go, 3 tenths clear. It's going to need a crash for him to give this gold medal away.
A lot of Russians going to be happy here at the bottom.
Red, white and blue ribbons in his hand. He's got the medal. 3800s, and he's going away from Martins Dukurs. It's win number 2 of the season. 2 wins on the Sochi track in 12 months for Alexander Tretyakov. Big smile there from coach Willi Schneider as he wins by 41 hundredths. 56.13. A quicker slide than anybody has managed on this track all weekend. A big smile from the Olympic champion. Like Lizzie Arnold, he doubles up. 2 race wins on this track in 12 months. Lizzie did it 365 days to the day, and Alexander Tretyakov repeats the feat. Look at the smile on his face. Everybody wants a piece of the Olympic champion. Everybody wants a piece of the gold medal winner here. A huge start to tie the start record on this track that he set in the first day of proceedings in the Skeleton Olympic Championship. And then he comes down 56.13. Just under 2 tenths away from the all-time track record that he also set in the Olympic competition. Alexander Tretyakov is our race winner, the 8th and final World Cup of the season. He's beaten Martins Dukurs again on the Olympic track and takes the last gold medal of the season. Is that An omen for the Olympic and World Champion in fine form 2 weeks out from the World Championships. Well, there is the finishing order. Some really good performances in the field from rookies and experienced sliders alike. Signing autographs, posing for photos. Selfie clearly hasn't caught on that much down here at the bottom of the track. There's a lot of fans that would love a photo with the Olympic champion, like double Olympic gold medalist Alexander Zubkov in the 2-man and 4-man bobsleigh, who's here this weekend. Tretyakov is a big hero after last year's performances especially. Well known beforehand. That Olympic gold on a Russian track in a Russian Games. Oh boy, does that catapult you into an entirely different stratosphere. Well, Tretyakov complaining with a smile on his face after training that all these young kids are snapping at his heels. 19-year-old Nikita Tretyakov will be his most immediate worry in the World Championships, because Tretyakov will come as the junior world champion, and there's no question he would like to knock everybody over. Whether he can do it in Winterberg remains to be seen. He's got to beat the Dukurs brothers. He's got to beat the Germans, especially on their home track. And he's got to beat his own teammate, Alexander Tretyakov. It might not be Tretyakov's time yet, but like Tretyakov when he first started at about the same age, we know it's coming. Well, a stunning week of racing here, and 5 amazing races on this Olympic track, producing as much drama, excitement and edge-of-the-seat nerviness as anything that was in the Olympic Games 12 months ago. A great return to Sochi for the sport, a warm welcome and some fantastic racing action. The sun is setting over the Sanki Sliding Center and the Viessmann FIBT World Cup. Martin Dukurs, the champion for the 6th straight season. Brother Thomas, the runner-up. Axel Jung, the rookie, in 3rd place ahead of the USA's Matt Antoine. Well, 2 wins, not enough to propel our champion here, Alexander Tretyakov, into the top 3 in the season after missing 2 races, but he is on the top step of the podium. Sungbin Yun on the right of your picture, the bronze medalist. Silver for Martin Dukurs, the gold for the Olympic champion Alexander Tretyakov, a year on from the biggest win of his life. It was like deja vu all over again. Just 2 runs to take the lead away from Martin Dukurs. He led after the first heat, and he consolidated and built on that advantage, opening up from 1/10 of a second to 4/10 of a second in the second run. A dominating performance from Alexander Tretyakov, the Olympic champion and the world champion. Well, let's hear from our top 3. They are waiting to speak to John Morgan in the finish area.
Great leaderboard here, 3 different nations, Korea, Latvia, and Russia. Sungbin, 3rd medal of the year. Good runs.
작년 올림픽보다 훨씬 더 많은 발전을 한 것 같아서 거기에 대해서 크게 만족하고 있습니다. Thank you.
Just thank you. He's very humble. Congratulations. Now over to Superman. 6 gold medals this year, 2 silver medals. You win your 5th straight World Cup title. You still got to be happy, even what happened today.
I won 6 titles.
In a row.
Yeah, correction. Yeah, in a row. But yeah, that was a great season, and I'm happy that I did so much testings and it was kind of successful. Also, a really great job did my team, and thanks for the Latvian, thanks for the sponsors, really great team, and also it's one of the most important competitions in the front, that's World Champs in Winterberg.
Well, we'll be looking forward to it. And the Russian Rocket, Alexander, great to win on your home track.
Да, очень приятно победить дома на домашней трассе. Это одна из моих любимых трасс. Спасибо всем тренерам, обслуживающему персоналу, всем, кто болел, поддерживал всем болельщикам, кто пришел сегодня сюда. Thank you very much.
He says thank you to the whole team. He's so happy to win on his home track. Great success.
Great job indeed by all three athletes and everybody in the field here in Sochi and all the organising committee that have produced a fantastic weekend of racing. Well, thanks to John Morgan for being with us in the booth. Thanks to you especially for joining us throughout this World Cup season, and to everybody else who's helped with the production in the FIBT TV team. The regular season is over. We have 2 weeks of World Cup action coming up. Join us for all that. Until then, from Sochi, do svidaniya, goodbye for now.